What is up, KOAY family? Welcome back to the Jaby KOAY channel. I'm ACHARA KIRK and I'm joined by SYNTELL KOAY.
What's cracking, baby?
And we are carrying on with Panchayat Season 2. This time we're on Episode 2. This one is called Bol Chaal Band. Speak. Something, speak. Anyway, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and click all notifications so you know whenever we drop a new episode or any other fun content that we're doing here. And also, if you're enjoying what you're watching, please upvote this video so YouTube knows that we're doing a good job. If this is your first time watching one of these reactions with us, I do have to let you know that it's going to be a cut down because we can't show all of the episode right here on YouTube because that wouldn't be right. But if you want to see the whole episode along with us, you can do that. We post all the watch alongs on our Patreon page and right here on YouTube memberships. You will need to have your own copy of the show open in a separate window next to ours, and all you do is press play when I tell you to, and then it'll be all in sync and it'll be like watching the show with your two internet besties. Hacha! Alrighty, you guys, let's carry on with this. I am very curious to see what happens next.
गाड़ी चलाते हैं आप? अरे हम नहीं चला रहे हैं, साला रोड ही बवासीर है। ये प्रधान साला एक काम नहीं ढंग से करवाता है, खाली बाल में मेहंदी लगा के नवाबी छांटता रहता है। वो बाल में मेहंदी लगाते हैं? हाँ, और नहीं तो क्या?
Oh wow!
ये भी तो पुराना ही है, अलग रखी से।
मात्र ये 26 साल पुराना तो है ही।
Damn!
हम जरा ऑफिस से आ रहे हैं, तुम घर चलो।
जब बोले तो उतारा नहीं, अब हम नहीं जाएंगे पैदल घर।
अरे थोड़ी दूर पे तो घर है।
Why does she have a microphone?
प्रधान जी ने पिछले इलेक्शन में वादा किया था कि गांव का पूरा मेन रोड पक्का करवाएंगे।
गांव से ऑफिस तक तो बन ही गया है।
तारीख आप फाइनल कीजिए, नहीं तो कह रहे हैं यहीं पे पेट्रोल डाल के आत्मदाह कर लेंगे अब।
Wow!
Dang!
ये रोड के चलते हमारा नया गाड़ी का वो शॉकर 2 बार बैठ गया है।
हाँ, हमको लग रहा था कि हमारे गाड़ी का शॉकर इनकी वजन से बैठ रहा है, लेकिन नहीं।
Better get slapped, man. You better chill out.
प्रधान जी ने सच में प्रॉमिस किया था पूरा रोड बनवाने का?
हाँ, मतलब किए तो थे।
अच्छा।
I feel like politicians do that all the time.
मोटरसाइकिल में रिजर्व से ऊपर पेट्रोल नहीं होता और सब कैसा चल रहा है कि पेट्रोल से आत्मदाह करेंगे। चल पी ले।
प्रधान जी किसी दिन सच में कर लिया तो?
अरे कोशिश करे तो रोकिएगा मत, करने दीजिए।
Wow. Okay.
कुछ तो जवाब देना पड़ेगा उस भूषण को, वो तो डेडलाइन देके चला गया।
आप सरकारी बाबू हैं, गोल मोल जवाब देने का अभ्यास कर लीजिए।
Wow.
क्योंकि यहाँ के बाद जब आप प्राइवेट नौकरी में जाएंगे तो यही सब बहुत काम आएगा।
Yeah, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
अरे बैठिए ना, आते हैं हम।
अरे प्रधान जी वो लॉ के लेने जा रहे हैं तो रहने दीजिए, मैं खा खा के पक गया हूँ सीरियसली।
Tact, young man. You seem tact.
कहा सचिव जी, प्रधान जी के यहाँ से आ रहे हैं?
हाँ।
बात किए थे।
एग्जैक्ट डेट कमिट कर पाना तो अभी थोड़ा मुश्किल है।
अंग्रेजी बोल बोल के कैसे बात को घुमाया जाता है।
ये भूषण जी हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, धीरे धीरे हो जाएगा इसका।
यही तो दिक्कत है, सब कुछ बहुत धीरे धीरे हो रहा है। प्रधान जी लौकी दे दे के आपका मुंह जो चुप कर रखे।
When you got the proof just hanging out your...
Yeah, I know.
पता है, तालाब खोद कर ये लोग मिट्टी बेच रहे हैं।
अरे तो वो पैसा किसी की जेब में थोड़ी जाएगा, सीसीटीवी कैमरा लगेंगे उससे।
अरे जाइए सीसीटीवी कैमरा, हम लोग क्या करेंगे सीसीटीवी कैमरा का? हैं? जो चीज खराब है रोड बनवाइए ना, बड़े आए कैमरा लगाने वाले।
Damn, just walk away.
कायदे से आपको निष्पक्ष रहना चाहिए, आप प्रधान जी के खिलाफ शिकायत दर्ज करनी चाहिए, लेकिन नहीं, आप तो दोस्ती कर रहे हैं।
Dang, he called him all the way out.
अरे भाई सिद्धू, क्या इंडिया वापस?
बस गुड़गांव में एक जॉब ऑफर था, सैलरी अच्छी थी तो आ गया। तू बता भाई, कैसे चल रही लाइफ फुलेरा में हैं?
अरे मत पूछ भाई, गांव वाले बनराकस बुलाते हैं।
बनराकस मतलब?
Yeah, tell me.
पूरे गांव में फैला रहा है कि मैं प्रधान जी की चाटता रहता हूँ।
इग्नोर कर भाई ऐसे लोगों को, और प्रधान के यहाँ आना जाना कम कर दे थोड़ा, नहीं तो लोगों को लगेगा कि तू उनकी चाटता ही है।
But his future boo thing might be there though.
Yeah.
यूएस रिटर्न ने अच्छा खासा फोड़ा होगा, बता दे भाई, हम भी थोड़ा इंस्पायर हो जाएं।
हाँ मतलब 1.5 करोड़।
क्या?
Wow.
1.5 1.5 करोड़।
Damn. Damn that. Ugh. It sucks when you're happy for your friend, but then you feel bad about what you've got.
Yeah, that's a sucky feeling. You'd be like, damn man, you're killing it. Damn, I'm not killing it.
Yeah.
सर चाय चढ़ा दिए, देख लीजिएगा आप। ओह, पत्नी का फोन आ रहा है।
Another thing he wants that doesn't have a relationship. someone to love.
Yeah.
विकास जरा भक्के इसमें मैडम का अंगूठा ले आता।
सर हमको भी निकलना पड़ेगा। कल रात में पत्नी कटहल का तरकारी या पूरी बना दी थी, बहुत जबरदस्त बन गया था।
भाई तू पॉइंट पे आया करना, हुआ क्या?
सर हमारी पत्नी का पेट खराब हो गया है।
Oh no.
हाँ तो ये अंगूठा क्या कीजिएगा, आप ही लगवा लीजिए। हाँ ठीक है सर। तो
The tea on the stove.
मलकोपुर से फोन आया था, रिंकी को हैप्पी बर्थडे बोले। पहले दोनों परिवार एक दूसरे के साथ बैठ के एक दूसरे को जान समझ लें।
जानने समझने में ये दोनों तो बूढ़े हो जाएंगे और हम दोनों मर जाएंगे।
अरे
प्रधान जी, ये मैडम का बाई चांस ऑफिस आना होगा क्या आज? वो शौचालय वाले फाइल पे थोड़ा अर्जेंट अंगूठा चाहिए था, वो आज ही जमा कराना है बीडीओ ऑफिस जाके। तो अगर
ऐसा करिए आप यहीं घर आ जाइए ना, अंगूठा भी लगवा लीजिए और चाय भी पी लीजिए। ऑफिस के पास वाला जो मंदिर है ना, आपकी मैडम वहीं गई हैं और रिंकी का जन्मदिन है ना, तो आप वहाँ जाके अंगूठा लगवा लीजिए।
It's like, oh, I better wish Rinky a happy birthday. Book of prayers.
हैप्पी बर्थडे।
23 की हो गई आज।
मैडम वो अंगूठा
Here he come.
अरे कोई बात नहीं मैम, मैं अंगूठा बाद में लगा लूंगा।
लगा देते हैं, लाइए।
नहीं मैम कोई बात नहीं, बाद में कर लेंगे, आप भी।
प्रधान जी को दिखा दिए ना?
हाँ हाँ।
हम तो बिना पढ़े लगा रहे हैं।
Banrakas.
He's like, gotcha.
बस
Something's
My
up.
man is so conflicted right now. He's looking at her, trying to get the
शाम का
thumbprint,
खाना
trying to
हमारे
watch
घर
out for
पे।
a boy.
बस 2-4 करीबी लोगों को बुला रहे हैं, आइएगा।
Oh my God.
शाम को तो मैं नहीं आ पाऊंगा।
कोशिश तो
It's Rinky's
कीजिएगा।
birthday. Look at him. Look at him.
अरे मन में कोई बात है तो बता दीजिए।
क्वांट का एक चैप्टर खत्म करना था, उसके लिए टाइम बचा रहा हूँ।
आपने तो टेंशन में डाल दिया हमको।
कितने बजे का है केक कटने का प्रोग्राम?
अरे भाई हमारे यहाँ कल्चर तो ये है कि बिजली जाने से पहले खाना पीना हो जाना चाहिए।
हाँ विकास, कैसी तबीयत है भाई?
पेट्रोजिल का एक गोली दिए हैं, 3 पखाना पर रुक गया है।
अच्छा सुन, ये रिंकी के बर्थडे पे कुछ गिफ्ट लेके जा रहा है क्या?
हम तो नहीं ले जा रहे हैं।
अच्छा चल ठीक है चल।
Is it like you just don't give gifts for birthdays in the village culture, or?
Yeah, I think we, like him, are trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you don't do cakes, you don't do gifts.
Like,
So how do I do this?
how am I supposed to celebrate this birthday? I'm so confused. What do I bring? Oh, a cake. Bring a cake.
कौन सा केक है?
कौन सा केक है? मतलब केक है। पर लिखवाना का है, अब जिसका हैप्पी बर्थडे है उसको दे के सीधा हैप्पी बर्थडे बोल दीजिए। अब ये लिखने पढ़ने की चीज थोड़ी ना है सर जी।
Just the way he looks at him.
अब यार प्रधान जी ऐसे बोलने लगे, मैं नहीं कर पाया यार मना।
और रास्ते में वो बनराकस मिल गया तो क्या करेगा? वो तो तेरा मजाक उड़ाएगा।
इसका भी है एक सॉल्यूशन।
And what is that? Oh, are you
अरे
returning?
देख लेगा तो बोल दूंगा कि पार्टी अटेंड करने नहीं, लौकी लौटाने जा रहा था।
खाना तैयार है।
हाँ बेटा चल आ रहे हैं।
चलिए।
The reason for the visit.
सचिव जी, अब आप केक लाएं तो खुद ही दे दीजिए ना।
हैप्पी बर्थडे वंस अगेन।
डबल थैंक यू। वो मंदिर पर बोलना भूल गए थे उसी का।
This is so
they're
cute
so
and
cute.
awkward.
शरबत तरबत सब हो गया है, इसके बाद खाना खाएंगे और उसके बाद खीर खाएंगे और खीर के बाद फिर सचिव जी का केक।
केक थोड़ा सॉलिड हो सकता है, वो पता नहीं मिला नहीं दूसरा पकौड़ी में।
He said it could be a little solid.
People came.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of food. These songs are so wholesome. I love them.
Yeah, they've done some good stuff with the music.
Yeah.
अरे पहले उनको देते हैं।
अरे नहीं आप लोग लो मैं।
अरे हम तो ले ही रहे हैं, अब तो हमारे यहाँ और जो बचा है वो भी रखा है, सुबह भी खाएंगे, इसको तो खाते रहेंगे।
Good.
Yeah, the cake was a success.
बेकार ही निकला।
अरे बेकार कहाँ, एकदम मुलायम मुलायम है, चबाने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ रहा है, एकदम सटक रहा है अंदर, ऐसा समझ नहीं आ
बैग में
रहा।
क्या है सर? लौकी है क्या?
लौकी? अरे सचिव जी, इतना रात को बैग में लौकी लेके कहाँ घूम रहे हैं भाई?
Oh, here comes the truth.
Good. Talk to your homie. Maybe I can work something out.
Yeah.
ये भूषण है ना, एक नंबर का बनराकस आदमी है।
अरे आपके पहले जो था सचिव, उसको ही भड़काया करता था वो प्रधान जी खिलाफ। वो बहुत हरामी आदमी है।
अगला पंचायत चुनाव में अपनी पत्नी को पक्का खड़ा करेगा।
इसीलिए तो ये सब ड्रामा कर रहा है वो। अगर हमने सड़क बना दिया तो उसकी छाती पे सांप लौट जाएगा, देख लीजिएगा।
Mistake we make the road.
मुझे नहीं पसंद कोई ये बोले कि मैं चाटता हूँ किसी की।
अरे आपको लगता है कि आप हमारी चाटते हैं? देखिए सचिव जी, सच्चाई क्या है वो आप भी जानते हैं, हम भी जानते हैं।
Exactly.
Facts.
वाह सचिव जी, फिर पहुंच गए बड़े घर, बढ़िया है।
आज चुन मचाया आपको, हैं? मैंने बोला रुकने के लिए, फिर क्यों रुक के दांत दिखा रहे हो?
प्रधान जी हमेशा प्रधान नहीं रहेंगे, कल को कोई और भी बन सकता है, लेकिन आपको उसी ऑफिस में काम करना है तो थोड़ा सोच समझ के बोलिए।
Wow.
2 बातें हैं, मैं इलेक्शन तक बैठा नहीं रहूंगा, ठीक है? और जब तक हूँ अपने हिसाब से रहूंगा, जो अच्छा बिहेव करेगा उसके साथ अच्छा बिहेवियर रखूंगा, और जो बुरा करेगा उसके साथ बुरा रहूंगा। तेरी वाइफ प्रधान बन भी जाती है तो भी मुझे घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है।
Damn.
Oh wow, drama.
दूसरी बात क्या है?
दूसरी बात ये, हो सके तो मुझसे भी बोलचाल बंद ही रखना।
क्या सुन जी, फिर से कुछ बोल रहा था क्या?
बोल रहा था, दोबारा नहीं बोलेगा।
Nice.
All right. Handle.
I do like when he gets fiery. Wow. I feel like that relationship, that conflict that he's having with Bhushan, especially all that stuff he was saying at the end about like, oh, I'm only going to be here for another 10 or 12 months, you know, and then I'm going to be gone and it doesn't really matter who becomes the Pradhan, even if your wife does, blah, blah, blah. Like all that big talk that he was saying. And part of me does go, dude, be careful. Like you don't know how things are going to turn out. And, you know, that it might be a situation where he doesn't pass his exam again or something happens and he decides to stay in the village for longer and then he's just made an enemy. And that's just how I think, though, you know?
Right. I think as he learns more about the culture of everything, like I just went through a whole learning process of how birthdays are celebrated within the village, right? And how it's done there. And as we're learning, like he's learning, you can't help but fall more and more in love with it, right? It's not going to be, you know, just her that woos him. It's not going to be just Rinky. It's just going to be his friends that have his back in this same situation. Like, come talk to us. Maybe get some fatherly advice, you know, from the Pradhan. So I think he's going to fall in love with all of that. And then probably, you know, he pass or fail. It'll probably be more interesting if he passes the test and then he's left with that choice.
Yeah.
But the pass or fail, you know, he's going to find like his purpose. You know, and I think we're seeing more and more little steps as to what it kind of like means to like be a man in a lot of ways too. And you need an elder statesman sometimes to kind of tell you that, you know, that positive male model figure. And his, you know, and that's the Pradhan saying like, do you feel like a brown nose?
Yeah.
It's like, no, well, I don't either. Then what's the problem?
Yeah. And I guess it's an important lesson as well, like to remind him and remind us that like ultimately what matters is the truth of what you believe, right? Like people can say whatever the hell they want to about you and they can spread gossip about you. But if you know it's not true, the other person knows it's not true, then like, why are you even worried about what people, like what little people like Bhushan say, you know? Because there are always those types of people in life who are always just out to say nasty things about you and make you feel bad about yourself and the things that you're doing because, I don't know, they feel bad about themselves and their life. And so they have to, you know, start spreading gossip and stuff and make you feel bad because they feel shitty. It's a great reminder to just, you know, do your thing, stay in your lane, do your thing, live your life, and just disregard all the other noise that's going on in the background.
That is what it is. It is simply noise. There's something was kind of brought up earlier with the Pradhan as well. He had mentioned like the private sector, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, if you can handle all of this stuff, then, you know, I guess regarding some of the pricing, I think he brought that up like last episode, what that private sector looks like and how this can be kind of like preparing him for that. But I'm saying all that also to ask you a question regarding we got introduced to a new character.
Yeah.
And that is his brother. I don't know if it's brother as in a term of endearment or if it's brother like his biological brother.
I think probably like friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
You know, I really enjoy how they have these characters who are his city friends and have them also be a part of the show because it reminds us of his life, you know, the life that he left or the life that he could be living. And there was definitely that moment of envy, right? Where, you know, his friend comes back from the States and he's like, yeah, I mean, it's not as good as I was getting in the States, but it's like 1.5 crore, which is what, like 150,000. And compared to his measly 20,000, that's like, oh my God, you know, like he's not making a lot of money at all. You know, we're just reminded of the aspirations that he has. But I also enjoy these characters because they're usually like his little Jiminy Cricket, you know? Where
very good point. Yes.
Yeah, because he'll often have a problem and then he'll talk to his friend. And I do miss Izzo from the last season because he was always super optimistic. Like I liked how he would often take what Abhishek was saying and then just be like, yeah man, but look on the bright side. And here we have a friend who's he's not really doing that. He's not offering him the positive spin on the situation, but he is trying to help him problem solve. So I do like that. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, this friend seems more matter of fact. He doesn't seem to be like telling him what he wants to hear. He's just telling him, you know, like if this is the relationship that you're going to have with this person, then, you know, it could be an issue.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's still pushing him in the right direction. And I think what you said is important too, that you get a chance to see his potential future, right? And I think that if we don't see him go through these processes and becoming a better man by being at this village, that dream will not come to fruition in a way that he really wants because he wouldn't be prepared for that type of responsibility or that wealth or whatever it is.
Sure.
So I think it is kind of cool to have that Jiminy Cricket who's already kind of doing it, help you see maybe like the bigger picture per se, you know, of how to handle these kind of situations. Because if you can handle it on this small level, then when you get to the larger playing field regarding this, you've already been here, and then it should be a lot easier.
Yeah, he's definitely learning a lot as well. Like I think, you know, in terms of what can he take from this experience when he goes into the corporate world, it's just dealing with people. I think that's the most important experience that he's getting here, is just dealing with all sorts of people that are really different from you and problem solving and figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, and especially because, you know, he felt some kind of way when he realized that the promises was made for the road to be fixed and it's not. But then, you know, he goes to the Pradhan and he's like, well, I mean, it's politics, you know, and he pretty much says that in a nutshell. And he was like, you know, kind of like, get your head on straight. That's how it's going to be in the private sector as well. You got to know how to say the proper words in order to kind of like lengthen things out. So I am curious about that road, though, because they explain how crazy expensive it is to fix that road. But as much as we may not like, Sean is right. You know, he's like, yo, the road needs to be fixed. Maybe the CCTV maybe isn't that big of a deal. Maybe he does have some valid points. Yeah, and as a public servant, you know, it's your job to kind of like address that regardless if you like the person or not.
It's tough when people are like throwing truth bombs at you and then you're like, I don't know what to say because you're right. This should have been fixed, but like also why is it not fixed? And then you find out why. I do wonder as well if that's some sort of commentary on the system too, because I think we're so quick to accept, like even when we were talking about it, we're like, yeah, this is just what politicians do. They just make promises and say they're going to do these things and like we want them to do them, but we also don't really expect them to. So like something's wrong with the system.
Those are tough waters to navigate, especially if you're trying to learn the basics of it, right? Because you know the Pradhan's been doing this for years. You know, he knows how to swim in these waters. But you trying to figure it out and then keeping your true self and your morality intact and still getting the job done, that's a tough juggle. It also makes for good TV.
It does. It does. It makes for good drama.
For me personally, it feels like the score is more involved this season. We've only seen 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And I love the score last season. The score is really good. But it seems even more involved this season. We saw the dance number in episode 1, which was really good.
Yeah.
And then we saw the birthday when and it was like it really went well and meshed well with the scene work. Noticed any differences, or maybe I'm reading into it a little too much?
Yeah, probably these last 2 episodes, there definitely has been some really good integration of the lyrical music with the action that's going on with the scene. They do a really good job with the music in this show. And I think in general with TVF shows, I've noticed that their music choices are often top notch. I don't really know all of the nuances of the songs, but they do feel to me, like you said, you know, they feel a little bit more old school, a little bit more traditional, and they're just so wholesome and sweet. And so I think that it just kind of really goes with the whole vibe of the village. Like they're not quite, you know, they're not there at the level of the cities where the music is different or the vibe is different and life is different. It's just going back to a simpler time where it's about friendship and family and love and just having a good time. And yeah, I'm really feeling it. Like how are you feeling about the music and everything?
Yeah, it's like you said, there's a in the very first episode we heard like a really old song, and it sounded old. It sounded like something you probably even hear on like a record player or whatever. And it kind of did a really good job of like setting the tone of kind of like what you're saying regarding like the modern day sound and this sound that seems a little bit more chill and relaxed. And like as lighthearted as the overall project is in general, the music it matches it as well. So it just really fits the tone of the culture that we've been enjoying so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, that's a wrap on episode 2. If you guys like the video, please don't forget to upvote it and make sure that you're subscribed so you know when we drop our next video, and we'll catch you next time. I'm ACHARA KIRK. This is...
Hey, it's your boy SYNTELL.
Ciao!